It's hot, folks. Oh, but I was filled with joy. I was jubilant. I wanted to see each and every one of you. I wanted to talk to each and every one of you, but there was a tweet earlier today that got under my skin. And I'm sure I am not allowed to say his name, but I will read the tweet. Actually, the most important part is simple. A certain superstar decided to say, hashtag walk over talk. Man, for so long, I thought that tactical vest was just covering up his pot belly. I thought that tactical vest was just covering up failed drug tests. It was covering up something much worse. It was covering up envy. Envy. Because this isn't an indie. This is a club. That's right. Each and every one of you were Bullet Club. So now is that time of the night when I'd like to show my gratitude towards you. I have the same thing to say to that certain superstar that I'm going to say now, and it's quite simple. Kiss the ring. Wow.
All right, so this beef that Roman Reigns has with AEW. I mean, look, there is an origin story behind this shit. There is a huge origin story. It goes back damn near 7 fucking years ago. And we all know what CM Punk said about Reigns on that podcast with Colt, right? People are wondering, how come Reigns just doesn't like AEW? How he's always the first one to really send shots towards AEW. He has had issues with that company before it even became a company. And it's funny how CM Punk is now in that company. A company where Reigns doesn't like nobody on that roster, all except Dean Ambrose. And here's why. Now, let's take it back to Cody Rhodes. Let's take it back to Cody Rhodes. I've been following this guy since he left the WWE, right? This guy has been the most arrogant, the most cockiest dude I've ever seen. How can you, being successful on the indies, give you such an entitled ego? But that's a different story. The point is, this is where their beef started. Because Reigns, he has a beef with that whole entire clique from the fucking Elite. Cody Rhodes said, now remember what I said about him having a big ass head, right? This dude said he was the biggest draw in all of professional wrestling. He said that, I think in 2017, I think. He said that bullshit, right? And Reigns heard it. Somebody told Reigns that. Then Reigns was like, bruh, if you ain't drawing 100K, then don't call yourself a draw. That's just silly. You ain't selling out WrestleMania like stadiums. So how are you a fucking draw? That's what Reigns kind of said. Which was facts. How the hell you guys gonna call yourself a draw just because you are selling out small little arenas on the fucking indies? They're like, what? Like, huh? Reigns like, nigga, that's silly. How are you a fucking draw? So Cody found out about that. Then he cuts a promo about Reigns on Ring of Honor television. He says something really disrespectful. Cody said something like, a guy who wears a vest to hide his failed drug tests is really wearing that vest to hide his envy. So, yeah, that got back to Reigns. But Reigns didn't say shit. Reigns just left it alone. Now, Reigns has always taken these shots about guys from the indies. It makes you think like, damn, this dude, he was always a heel. He was always going to be a natural heel once he turned heel. Because you can see he had the potential to be a fucking heel. Taking all these digs. So, let's cross out Cody. That is one of the main reasons why he does not like AEW. So that adds on to the story on why he does not like AEW. And the fact that I watched the episode of Dynamite a couple of weeks ago. And one of the Bucks, they did a move to mock Roman Reigns. One of the Bucks, maybe it was Matt or Nick, they did that little Reigns, that little ooh ah shit, just to mock him. Why would you do that? You see what I'm saying? Don't poke the bear. They did that for no reason. And months later, Reigns finally responded. You see what I'm saying? Those elite guys always take digs at Roman Reigns. That's why Roman Reigns be going hard at AEW. Remember when Seth Rollins took a dig at AEW? Everybody was coming down on him. I wasn't. Me personally, I loved Seth's comments about AEW because it was facts. They are the fucking minor leagues. But Seth Rollins called them competition, right? Roman Reigns, he heard about that. And he said, Seth, I think he was being too nice. I think he was being too generous by calling them competition. They are an option for pro wrestlers. And he was like, hey, I respect it. But no, they are just an option. They're not competition. Reigns said that a long time ago. People need to realize Roman Reigns has always felt this way about AEW. All you idiots think he is playing a character. Okay, how is he playing a character when AEW first started? Roman Reigns was a fucking face. He was a baby face. And yet, he was still taking shots at AEW as a face? You see what I'm saying? When Roman Reigns does interviews, he is not in character. That's really him. That's why this heel Reigns on TV that you see, why do you think it comes off so natural? Because that's really him in real fucking life. He is that way. And the WWE finally let him be himself. That's him. Let's talk about Tama Tonga. A couple of years back, Tama Tonga and Reigns got into a Twitter beef. Roman Reigns made fun of Tama Tonka's promo, he felt like it sucked. And it did suck. But Roman Reigns said it wasn't good. Then Tama Tonka responded, and they got into a little beef. So that's an example of, dude, Reigns does not play a character on social media. He don't play a character when he is interviewed. That's really him. What he said about AEW, nigga, he's been saying that for the past 2 years, homie. He's not playing no character. That's really him saying all that shit. Okay, he ain't the fucking tribal chief when he does interviews. That's him. So let's get back to CM Punk. Why does Reigns have such a grudge against CM Punk? Because he's very condescending. And all you AEW shills, I bet you're going to say, didn't CM Punk praise Reigns a couple of months ago? Yeah, so who gives a fuck? Who ain't praising fucking Reigns? How was that a fucking endorsement? Him? Nigga, I don't give a fuck what CM Punk says. I don't give a flying fuck what CM Punk says about me. Like, I don't give a fuck. Why should Reigns give a fuck? CM Punk, where was that same energy a couple of years ago? Now, let me tell you a different story why Reigns does not like CM Punk. So y'all gotta do your homework. I've done mine. There was a recent interview a couple of months back. Remember when Reigns said CM Punk is not a draw, which is true. Reigns has been proven right. But he went deeper in the interview that nobody's talking about. He said that Coca Beta podcast with CM Punk, he said that really made it hard on him for the next 5 to 10 years. That's what Reigns said. He said that interview with CM Punk, that made Roman Reigns' life in the WWE a lot harder than it had to be. You know why? Because Roman Reigns was now seen as a Vince McMahon project. That's why CM Punk made Reigns' life fucking hard as a babyface. Because now CM Punk is a fucking snitch. Let's just be real. He exposed Reigns. He exposed the backstage plans for Reigns. He exposed the fact that he never wanted Reigns in the Shield. He wanted Chris Hero. Bruh, CM Punk belongs in AEW. Hell, I'm surprised Chris Hero ain't in fucking AEW. He has a bad creative mind. What idiot, what moron would choose Chris Hero over Roman Reigns at that time in a fucking Shield? Nigga, this ain't the Indies, bro. This ain't ROH. The fuck? This is the big time. Nigga, if Chris Hero was a member of the Shield, they would have broke up in 5 months. They wouldn't be Hall of Famers. Are you serious? Look how Chris Hero was used in fucking NXT. And CM Punk dumbass wanted him in the Shield over Reigns. How can you fans support this guy? But anyway, let's go back. So, Reigns said CM Punk, that dumbass podcast interview made Reigns' life fucking hard. And I believe it did. Because now Reigns was looked at as a guy that was forced. Because CM Punk spilled everything by saying a fucking agent backstage told him that, hey, make sure you make Reigns look strong, man. You gotta make it look strong. Then this big ass ego man, CM Punk, took offense to it. Like, bruh, that happens. When the boss of the company has high hopes for a potential star that he's trying to push, you have to do the job, bruh. You ain't seeing fucking LA Knight bitching and complaining about putting over Braun Breaker. And now look at Braun Breaker. He's a star now. Because LA Knight put him over. That's what wrestling is, you fucking idiot. I do not like CM Punk, man. God, I don't like this guy. But anyway. So he basically has a problem putting over Reigns. Just because the agent backstage was driving into his brain that you gotta make sure you make him look strong. Dude, look at him. CM Punk. Roman Reigns would break you in half. You think the ass whooping you got in the fucking UFC was tough? Nigga, Reigns was a former defensive tackle in football. He would fuck you up. So why would you make him look strong? Nigga, you are a sloppy looking fat skinny guy. You have no shot against a guy who looks like Reigns. So yes, make him look strong, because it's not believable for you to not make him look strong. What's the issue here? And CM Punk said that the Shield was the most overpushed faction ever. That's what he said. You don't think that pissed off Reigns? You see what I'm saying? You don't think that pissed off Seth Rollins? So their beef goes way back. Those were the origins, and it's funny. Now he's in AEW with other guys that Reigns does not like. See what I'm saying? Now let's go back to what Punk said on that Dumbass podcast. Because he really did bury Reigns. He made Reigns' life a living hell. Because that podcast really got him over. As a sympathetic crybaby. The fucking Vince man, he's so evil. The fucking doctors this, doctors that. I was being overworked and shit, blah, 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 all that bullshit. Bruh. There were times where people were chanting CM Punk's name during Roman Reigns matches. You don't think that pissed him off? So fucking spare me your little crybaby story about why is Reigns going at CM Punk. Nigga, he should never forgive CM Punk, ever. He made his life a living hell for the past 7-8 years, homie. He should never forgive him. Roman Reigns did not deserve that. In fact, shit, I kind of blame CM Punk. Here's why. Before that podcast, go back. Remember how over the Shield was? Nigga, nobody had a problem with Reigns at that time. Ask Seth, ask Dean Ambrose. Those guys were over. Reigns was super popular out of that group. He was a huge fan favorite before that podcast. Then after the podcast, that snitch CM Punk exposed everything about Reigns, about why he is so pushed. How come Vince likes him the most? And we all know how these smarks feel about Vince. So when they find out you are a Vince guy, they will turn on you in a split second. And that's what happened to Reigns. So in a way, you could blame CM Punk for Reigns having go away heat all these years. You can blame him. Because everything was cool. Everything was cool and dandy, actually, before that podcast. And then he exposed Reigns. He disrespected him. But Reigns, as a professional, my God, man, he kept quiet for the past 6-7 years, man. I could not have done that. My God, I would have trashed CM Punk the fucking next day. No. The moment I heard that podcast, if I was Reigns, nigga, I would have trashed him 5 minutes after that podcast was fucking done. That's how mad I would have been. Y'all gotta put more respect on Reigns' name, man. He is a down-to-earth, humble guy, man. Only a few guys can take what he took for the past 7 years. And it's all CM Punk's fault. Why? Nigga. The fucking Shield was the most overly pushed faction of all time, right? But how come Reigns got so much hate? Dean Ambrose didn't get no hate. Seth Rollins didn't get no hate. You know why? Because those guys were indie guys. Reigns was a homegrown talent. He wasn't one of them in the fans' eyes. He wasn't a fucking ROH guy. He wasn't a CZW guy. He was a homegrown talent that Vince picked, which made him a target in the smart mark's eyes. See what I'm saying? So yes, blame CM Punk for Reigns' heat for the past 7 years with the fucking fans. Blame him because he fueled the fire. He fueled that fire. Because now it fucking looked like it made it seem like Vince McMahon chose Reigns over Daniel Bryan and CM Punk, which gave Reigns more heat that he didn't deserve. So yes, blame CM Punk for everything. That's why Reigns, he gives zero fucks about how he talks about CM Punk. He gives zero fucks. You know why? He fucking deserves it. He deserves that shit, nigga. The fuck? Fuck CM Punk, man. I'm sorry. I don't like the guy. He is one of the most unprofessional fucking scumbags in pro wrestling. How can you like this guy? Reigns sat back for 7 years, didn't say shit, and now all of a sudden Punk want to get all buddy saying, "Oh, Reigns is the best thing in the WWE right now." Nigga, fuck you. Fuck off. You made his life a living hell. And now you are feeling his fucking wrath now as you deserve, CM Punk. So, to make a long story short, that was really the story behind why Reigns has tons of beef with the Elite. He has beef with that whole group. He has beef with Kenny Omega, that whole group. Hell, Omega has said bad things about Reigns for the past couple of years. But you guys ignore that though. Omega always saying he's better, right? You know what I'm saying? Bull, dumb shit like that. So don't think that Reigns is trying to say, "Oh, I'm doing this for the WWE." No. Reigns is going to AEW for himself. He don't like those guys. He had beef with all of them for the past 7 years. Punk, the Bucks, Cody, and Omega. So he's not gaslighting nothing. He's always had beef with these guys. It all started from the CM Punk podcast, man. That's the origin of everything here. And now they all in the same promotion. And it's funny. Everything that Reigns said today is crazy. Does he watch my videos? I think Reigns watches my videos now. Because everything he said, I say every week about AEW. Dude, he has to be watching my fucking videos, man. He has to be. That's why I didn't make a video on it, because I would be repeating everything I say every week. He said everything I say about AEW, word for word, about how their audience is a niche hardcore audience. Like, I say that every fucking week. How their audience will not grow if they keep on catering to a niche audience? Nigga, I say that every week, man. Reigns is watching my videos. All right, I'm done.